3 times a month, I hop on a call with my Copywriting for Creative students and audit their copy and review their website. So maybe you've even heard some of this before, but if you're like me, there is something completely different from hearing a concept and then actually taking the time to go and apply it. By the end of this video, you will know 4 mistakes that you are likely making on your website, and it's okay because I have made them too. And I'm also gonna give you the tips that you can install to go ahead and correct them so you can have a mini makeover session on your website. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ashlyn Carter. I'm a conversion copywriter for creatives, and when my team and I have written copy and we're looking to install that copy, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that that reader, that website visitor, does not have to think any more than they're already thinking when they land on that page. That is called cognitive load, and we want to reduce that as much as possible on your website. The thing that makes your website so important, and yes, I still believe you need a website in 2020 and moving into 2021 and beyond, but this is why I think it's important. You could and you should spend money on things like ads and spend time growing things like your Instagram following. All of these traffic resources are a good thing, but if you're doing it right, they're funneling down to one thing, and it's those landing pages or those website pages. And if we're not looking at making the conversion rate on those pages absolutely as high as it can be and trying to correct every single mistake we see in the foundation, then honestly, why are we doing all the other stuff, right? Let's get that website, that engine underneath, revved up to max capacity, and I'll jump straight in. Let's do number 1. Number 1, I have no idea what you actually do because you're not clearly telling me. And like I said, some of these are gonna be things that I have completely done before, just starting off with this one. So quick story, like I tell my students to use usertesting.com and run a quick audit and see what other people are saying, complete strangers when they land on your website. I had done the same thing for mine. The headline at the time was something to the effect of helping you tell your story, copywriter, and one of the sweet, kind testers that was looking at my website, remember this is all anonymous, landed there and she said, she read a little bit, she scrolled, she said, "Oh my goodness, it sounds like you could help me write my autobiography." That is not what I do at all. I had to fix that. People had to understand what I do, who I do it for, and how they can get started when they land on my website. Same goes for yours. So good copy is like good design. When it's really great, you kind of don't even notice it, or if you do, it's because you're drooling a bit, right? I think creative entrepreneurs get so hung up on the concept that the copy needs to be clever or cutesy or fun, and we forget that you can just say it like it is. You can just clearly say who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. In fact, if you've ever heard Donald Miller talk before, he calls this the grunt test. If you opened up your website, you didn't even scroll, would it be so easy that a caveman could stand there, look at the screen, and grunt out who you are, what you do, who you do it for? While we're hanging out talking about this hero section that's likely on any page of your website, let me break down typically what that includes. So it usually includes a hero type image or background, and then there's the headline and oftentimes a subheadline, and oftentimes as well a call to action button. There are 3 different directions you could take that hero section to help make sure I can pass the grunt test, and I want to tell you about those now. You could have a problem lead in, you could have a dreamlike or pining for state lead in, and you could have the value prop. So if you've ever heard me talk through my PARIS copywriting formula, that's what I mean when I'm talking about the P. Whether you're taking that and you're describing more about the problem that the user that's coming to your website has, and you're speaking directly to that, I think that's a really strong way to start off, but I understand, especially in the industry that I serve, a lot of people don't necessarily want to lead with the problem first. So the other option will be to talk about the thing that they're pining for, that dreamlike state that they're looking to achieve, and they're going to need you to help them out. If those confuse you, the third option is so great. It's just the value prop, just leading in and saying exactly who you do, who you serve. Look no further than Amy Porterfield to see how she starts off her website to see a good example of the value prop hero space in action. So that's number 1. Your homework assignment is to put your website out there for some stranger, whether it's in a business Facebook group you're in or with a mastermind community. Just hopefully if you can go somewhere where people don't already know what you do, and see if you can post your website and ask someone to tell you back what they think you do. Get ready, you may need to have thick skin. Another way you can get started right now is just comment below. If you want to drop your website, I'll hop in there and tell you what I think you do, and then if you guys want to help each other, that would be so great. Answer what the person above you's comment, what you think they do when you land on their website. I promise this is such a helpful tool. It's like having spinach in your teeth and not even knowing it, but we're gonna fix it yay. Mistake number 2, you are not using the prime real estate that is your navigation bar, or it's so cluttered that I don't know what you want me to pick first. I hesitated to call this one, your website is not so simple a 3rd grader could use it, so pick your poison. The tip here I want you to employ is to trim that top navigation down to the bare minimum. All the time I see home up there, but I really think people know that you click the logo and you can land back home, or I'll see really clever words thrown in up there at the top. No, trim it down, make it so easy to understand. I'll show you what to do with the rest in a moment. We're gonna pop it in a junk drawer, but for now, I just want you to trim that nav bar down. Confused customers do not buy. And so many times we're overcomplicating our website. I use the word prime real estate, and don't forget about that too. I tend to put over in the top right-hand corner the most important call to action button of all of them. Likely for many of us that are service-based or agency style, or we do one-on-one work, a lot of us, it's the contact, it's the work with me, that kind of concept. If you do have products, shop now, something like that. We can work on the CTA button copy, but essentially that thing that you're asking people to go ahead and do needs to go in that right corner. Otherwise, you may be making the mistake of not making it clear that you do want them to work with you and to buy from you. I posted this on Instagram one time, but I'll go ahead and say it here because it hits home and I need to hear it sometimes. There is someone out there who's not as skilled at the craft that you do as you are. They're not as obsessed with their clients. They're not as passionate about their customers, but they are making more impact and likely more money because they're not afraid to get out there and ask for the sell. They're not afraid to make some noise and make some offers. If that isn't a sucker punch, I don't know what is, but invite people clearly to go ahead and reach out and get the conversation started to working with you. As I'm talking through this, I want you to know I realize there's so many nuances to this conversation, so I have unpacked a lot of these, like to the tune of 44. Look down below and you can grab my free checklist, 44 questions your website must answer. Print it out, keep it, it's a good one, and I promise you it's gonna deep dive into some of these a little bit more. To wrap this one up, we overcomplicate things so often as creative entrepreneurs. Get out there, talk about what you do, put offers, put that call to action button clearly in front of people and move the rest somewhere else. Let me show you a great example of a student who has done this so well on her website by employing a junk drawer bottom footer. She is a copywriting for creative student. She's done this beautifully. So, okay, clearly she's working that top nav. This is what she wants me to click on, work with me, and she's got it right here too. But what I want to show you, so look how trimmed down this is. Super, super trimmed. And when we come to the bottom, we will see this like junk drawer. She's got the things that she needs to have for SEO, her social media links, but then she's also got all these other links that we may need, but we do not need these up in the top. We just need that top to be super specific. Another example of this similarly is, and on a little bit different layout. Again, I would truly work that top right-hand corner, but what Katie's done, and her photography is stunning, is down here, oh, great pop-up, is she has put the few more like people wondering what to wear for these photos and seeing her portfolio. All of this is down at the bottom. Number 3, you used a really cutesy, clever slogan, and I actually now have no idea how you're different from anyone else. Okay, you've seen Shark Tank, right? The entrepreneur goes into the room and what do they always have in their back pocket ready to whip out but their value prop and their numbers. These are two things that we can't not know as the CEOs of our businesses. That entrepreneur gets in front of the sharks and has to clearly and concisely tell them what they do and how they're different than anything else out there on the market, so the sharks want to invest in them. If you've heard me talk live, or if you're inside Copywriting for Creatives, you know this and you likely have it, but we're talking about your onlyness factor. In a nutshell, this is a clear statement of the value that you provide. It does 3 things. It explains how your product or your service solves customers' needs and problems. It tells how you deliver specific benefits to them, and it displays your unique differentiation. It tells readers why they should buy from you and not your competition. This is not your slogan. This is not your tagline. In fact, I think I'm asked all the time if I have a resource or a tool that can be used to help people come up with their taglines, and I've never gotten around to making it, and I think this is why. I just don't believe your time is well spent trying to figure out a tagline for your business. I think so much more you need to look at the clarity of your value proposition, your onlyness factor. We need to relay that on your website so it's really clear, and not spend our time worrying about a little phrase that will probably not distinctly say what you do. Let me show you a few ways my students and clients have done this.
Example of onlyness factors in action. Kira is a Pensacola-based artist. Her work is exquisite, as you can see. But look, as I go through this, you can tell her artist statement is trimmed down in the niching and the specificity of what she does. Fine art for the curious romantic. We can see it obviously in the work and the images of her work, but we can really see it. Oh, I wish that video would load. Probably not, because I'm taking up a lot of bandwidth over here. But I just love how that is very clear. We understand the art she does, who she does it for. She clearly does not do art for all the people about all of the things. We see that with her copy and with the design and imagery. Another example of this is over on Tanya's website. Tanya has been working on her website, and she is a financial coach. Get this, a faith-based financial coach that works with Christians in their 40s. How's that for specificity? But what I like, we'll scroll down to this section that she's been installing, and what we can see is how she exhibits that. It's not flat out said, but we see this as you're not behind. The beauty of your 40s is that you have the wisdom of a few decades experience. If Christ can forgive you, why can't you forgive yourself? You can start to understand through this her onlyness factor and who she is, who she works with, her value prop, and she, again, is not for everybody, and she clearly says that here.
Remember, it only takes 2.6 seconds when people land on your website for them to have that first impression, and like my dad always told me, you only have one shot to make a first impression. This brings me to mistake number 4 that I see all the time. You are selling me more on the thing, the product, or the service than what that actually does for me. Okay, soapbox time. So the physicality of a product, or the perceived physicality, whether it is a silk printed scarf or a piece of jewelry, a digital download or course, planner, notebook, a wedding album, a piece of art, whatever it is, that is only valuable because that offer helps me do something or feel a certain way. And sometimes this is kind of a hard concept to swallow, but keep going with me. The physical features, or again, the perceived physical features, if you're selling more like a digital pack or a bundle or a course, those are way, way less important than what that thing, what that product, what that service actually does for me. That is huge if you're marketing anything that is, I think, in the creative or the art space. Because to be honest, that physicality, that nature of it is really the only reason that we get to charge a price. You can't charge me otherwise. Study copywriting for like 2 seconds and you hear that you need to focus on the benefits and not the features, and that's kind of what I'm getting at here. But those features are important and they need to be said, but what that thing does for me ultimately wins. So specifically, the physicality of the product does 5 things. It justifies your price, it makes you believable and credible, it gives me, the buyer, a mental picture of what I'm actually getting, and that's important. It speaks to the high quality and the high standards that you have and that you use, and it shows specificity. So again, the physicality or perceived physicality of a product or service will always play second fiddle to what it actually does for me, that transformation I'm looking for. The takeaway here is probably most for my product providers or people that have some type of physical nature to what they do. Really make sure that you're not talking so much about the aspects and the specifications of the product that it doesn't get at and tell me why that matters and what that helps me do or feel like in life. The difference in a good website and a great website can be rounds and rounds of revision, 20 rounds of revisions. So as a bonus tip, I also want to remind you to take time and always test what your website is going to look like on mobile. Let me show you really quickly in Chrome how you can do that and peek at how your website's going to look on different devices.
Client website, and if I wanted to see what it looks like on different devices, what I'm going to do is left click, and when this comes up, I'm going to go down to inspect. Once the inspect window opens up, and it may take half a second. Okay, there we go. So here I can toggle between iPad, iPhone X, different devices, and that's exactly what I want to see. So I can see how it looks and how it loads on different things. Let's see, let's look at an iPhone, an older model here. Cool. All right, and that's just a good, easy way to check what all is going on with how your website loads on different devices.
As you're working with a designer or a template, think less about what would look good and what would actually solve the problem. That's what these 4 mistakes and the tips I gave you boil down to. It's also why I created that checklist of 44 questions your website must answer. Don't miss out on the chance to grab it for free. Just look down below and it's yours. Another mistake that so many of us make is telling our story and forgetting to invite our customers and our clients in on the story. So be sure to watch the next video I have for you teed up. I'm diving into all the ways ways that you can share your brand story in your business. If you like this video, click like to let me know. And also, while you're down there, click the subscribe button and the bell next to it. I'm going to be coming out with more videos specifically focused on how you can give your website, your homepage, etc. a glow up in the coming weeks. Don't miss out.